Coming up today, President Park Geun-hye calls on the government and local companies to come up with creative ways to induce investment and adapt to the fast-changing world. The government, presidential office and parliament vow to tackle the economic issues facing the nation by improving three-way cooperation. Plus, Britain's next Prime Minister will be a woman. Theresa May and May and Leadsom will contest the post for Conservative Party leader and PM in a ballot of party members. Stay tuned for these stories and more. Hello to our viewers around the world. It's 6 a.m. on Friday, July 8th here in Seoul. Thank you ever so much for joining us. I'm Mark Broom. Our top story this morning, President Park Geun-hye is calling for creative efforts to develop new export items and foster new industries. The president hopes the new measures will revitalise the economy by boosting consumption and investment and ultimately create new jobs. Song Ji-sun starts us off.
At a trade and investment meeting on Thursday, President Park said Korea must create new demand with innovative and appealing products to counter the worsening global economic sentiment following Brexit and increased trade protectionism. The president stressed that businesses should explore new markets and induce investment in a preemptive manner to adapt to the fast-changing environment.
경제 여건이 어려운 상황일수록 변화의 흐름을 제대로 읽고 창조적 마인드와 발상의 전환을 통해서 새로운 상품과 서비스, 시장을 끊임없이 개척하는 것이 투자와 수출의 활로를 뚫는 가장 좋은 방법입니다.
The president highlighted the rising trend of single-person households and listed the halal and kosher industry, the pet industry, and virtual reality as new sectors with great business potential. She also made note of a need to revamp Seoul's traditional export engines like automobiles and semiconductors, as outbound shipments in those sectors are on a downward trend.
주력 산업 수출 경쟁력 회복을 위한 노력도 강화해야 하겠습니다. 창의적인 아이디어와 기술을 결합해서 상품의 새로운 가치를 창출해내면 새로운 수요를 만들어서 세계 시장을 주도할 수가 있습니다.
Stressing that convergence is the key in creating Korea's new export items, President Park asked Korean entrepreneurs to add touch of Korea's culture, services, and technologies and take advantage of the Korean wave to boost their exports. Song Ji-sun, Arirang News.
Now, staying with the topic of creating jobs and re-energising the economy, the government is now focusing on pushing up investment by supporting new growth engines. This follows up on measures announced earlier this week that are designed to boost Korea's service industry. Hwang Ji-ae reports.
By 2030, the Muslim population worldwide is forecast to stand at more than 2 billion. With that, the related halal industry combined with the Jewish kosher market is expected to grow fast.
And to cater to this burgeoning market, the Korean government has designated the halal and kosher industries, which include food and cosmetics, as promising fields that can lift the growth potential of Asia's fourth largest economy.
This came as the government laid out a set of measures to fire up investment sentiment among businesses on Thursday. It pledged to foster 4 other sectors, including the pet business, virtual reality, and the sports industry. The plan includes a push for legislations targeting the pet sector, setting up a virtual reality cluster in Western Seoul, and operating institutes to analyze halal culture. Some long-stalled investment projects will get the green light as well.
The government has come up with solutions to pave the way for corporations to speed up 5 investment projects that were halted due to regulations and a lack of infrastructure.
By cutting excessive red tape, the government expects 3.6 trillion won, or roughly $3 billion worth of investments to be made across the country. Experts say the measures will most likely have a positive impact on improving business sentiment, but it's questionable whether they will lead to actual investments.
I believe there are less than 10 local companies that have the room to make investments. And most of them are large conglomerates that make these decisions based on market conditions rather than government stimulus measures and deregulation.
The analyst adds there is a silver lining for demand at home and abroad, considering the fast pickup global financial markets have shown after Britain's decision to leave the EU late last month. Hwang Jie, Arirang News.
The Korean government has unveiled a special 10-year plan to combine the best of Korea's traditional crafts and relics with cutting-edge technology. For more on how a brand new market of unique, high-tech products is being created, Oh Si-young reports.
Imagine 3D printing a traditional Korean house or hanok that's full-sized and livable, complete with authentic features. That's what a research team at the Korea Institute for Science and Technology aims to do within 5 years, as part of a new Korean government initiative to recreate traditional relics with state-of-the-art technology. The team is repurposing traditional construction materials like granite and clay as 3D printing filaments and using pinewood extract as a natural adhesive. These developments will contribute to 3D printing advancements in the global architectural industry, especially when it comes to constructing sustainable and eco-friendly buildings.
Till now, there was a lack of research in eco-friendly materials, and there were no eco-friendly adhesives that were strong enough like ours. So we see huge potential in the architectural sector.
In the heart of Seoul, a traditional swordcraft expert is working with top scientists to reintroduce a steel-making technique that can be traced back to the 2nd and 3rd centuries. The multi-layer structuring technique was used in well-known relics like the ring pommel sword, featuring more than 4,000 layers.
In the past, cutting and folding the iron ore over and over pushed out the impurities and created durability. Even now, the process still helps increase the strength of the steel. It's like how paper won't rip as easily if you fold it many times.
While this technology was acquired by Japan around the 6th century and sparked a flourishing culture of craftsmanship, Korea's own steelmaking culture came to an end when the country was colonized by Japan. The team hopes to revive this lost heritage and apply it to mass-market items, beginning with high-quality kitchen knives and golf clubs. Blending past and present to enhance modern technology, the Korean government aims to develop 20 fusion products by the year 2025. It's a market worth $1.2 billion that's expected to generate some 2,700 jobs. Oh Si-young, Arirang News.
Now, officials from the government, presidential office and parliament have vowed to tackle the economic issues South Korea faces through greater three-way cooperation on state affairs. Thursday's meeting was the first since the 20th National Assembly opened back in May. Ji Myung-gil with the details.
Officials from the ruling Saenuri Party said the government, presidential office, and parliament must work together to pass economic revitalization bills, which they said will help improve the livelihoods of the public and ensure the success of President Park Geun-hye's administration.
The floor leader of the Saenuri Party, Chung Jin-suk, stressed that the government must communicate with the ruling and opposition parties in order for pending economic revitalization bills to be passed. The government said it would take that into consideration.
Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn agreed with the Conservative Party and urged the parliament to approve the government's fiscal stimulus plan, which includes a supplementary budget of $8.5 billion. But the exact date of when to approve the extra budget is yet to be decided.
The government hopes the fiscal stimulus plan can gain the Parliament's approval before the end of July. Therefore, the Parliament has also agreed to fully cooperate.
The presidential office said the public wants the parliament to work harder, be more productive, and do all they can to revitalize the economy. In order to do so, the presidential chief of staff, Lee Won-jung, said cooperation between the ruling party and the presidential office was crucial, especially when it comes to deal with corporate restructuring in ailing companies. The three entities agreed to meet as often as possible to discuss key national agendas, including reforming 4 major sectors, namely labor, finance, education, and public services, amid growing global economic uncertainties such as Brexit. Ji Myung-gil, Arirang News.
And there's another big political meeting lined up today as well. President Park Geun-hye will be meeting with all the lawmakers of the ruling Saenuri Party this afternoon. She has invited all 129 representatives to Cheongwadae for a luncheon meeting, which is expected to be an occasion to underline the importance of communication between both sides. In the first meeting following the launch of the 20th National Assembly in May, she will seek their cooperation on state administration. US Secretary of State John Kerry says North Korean officials at all levels need to know there are consequences for their actions. Kerry was speaking at a press conference in Ukraine on Thursday after the US blacklisted top North Korean leaders, including Kim Jong-un, for grave human rights abuses. Kerry said he hoped North Korean officials might consider the implications of their actions. He added that he spoke to his Chinese counterpart on Wednesday, reiterating the importance of China's help in pressuring Kim Jong-un over his regime's nuclear weapons program. Now, North Korea has condemned the US move as, quote, an open declaration of war, warning that it will close all diplomatic channels with the US unless the blacklisting is revoked. It also said it will deal with all issues arising from relations with the United States in accordance with wartime law. UN Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon says he's always ready to help improve relations between the two Koreas. He made the remarks on Thursday during a press conference in Beijing following a meeting with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi, emphasizing the importance of forming a unified front in enforcing sanctions on Pyongyang and in pushing the regime to give up its nuclear ambitions. Ban also said dialogue was the best way to stop the regime's provocations. Ban met with Chinese President Xi Jinping later in the day and attended the 10th anniversary of the adoption of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Now, with David Cameron on his way out of 10 Downing Street, we now know that Britain's next Prime Minister will be a woman. Interior Minister Theresa May and rival Andrea Leadsom have emerged as the two candidates who will battle to become Britain's next PM and lead the country out of the European Union. In party primaries on Thursday, May won 199 votes to Leadsom's 84 in a second ballot of lawmakers of the governing Conservative Party. Justice Secretary Michael Gove garnered just 46 votes and was eliminated from the race. Around 150,000 grassroots Conservative Party members across the country will be deciding which of the two women will become Britain's first woman Prime Minister since Margaret Thatcher. The result is expected by September 9th. Now, a super typhoon is approaching Taiwan at high speed. The entire island is currently on emergency alert. Dozens of flights have been cancelled, schools and offices closed. The Taiwan Central Weather Bureau says Nepartak is the strongest typhoon that will hit the country since 1958. The storm is advancing northward at a speed of 58 metres per second toward the eastern county of Hualien, where it's expected to make landfall very, very shortly, within the next few hours, in fact. The typhoon will make its way to eastern China by Saturday and land near the southern part of Korea and Jeju Island on Sunday, bringing another round of heavy rain over the weekend. Well, those are stories we've been following on this Friday morning here in Seoul. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website, arirang.com/news. We also have our smartphone application. You can find that by searching for Arirang TV in your app store. Have a great day. Goodbye.